Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new here, hi, my name is Jamison. I am a stay-at-home mom to two kiddos. My daughter Josie turned 3 a couple months ago, and my son Jax is about 21 months old, and I am currently pregnant with our third kiddo, and they are due in November. So that's just a little bit about me, but today's video is a clean and declutter. I try to stay on top of the decluttering and just the stuff in my house so that I don't feel overwhelmed, and so this is one of those times when I'm just trying to stay on top of it. I am in what I call our front room. This is the room that our front door opens into. We don't really have like an entry, which I'm trying to work on because I want there to be like a little table or something that signifies the entryway, but this is the room where my husband and I do majority of like our relaxing and watching TV at night if we're not in our bedroom. But this does not have like a bunch of kid stuff in it, so I feel like majority of the time when I'm cleaning or doing things, I'm not in this room, just because this room stays tidy more so than my kitchen and the toy room. But I decided to take some dedicated time today and work on this room, just because even though you can maintain a tidy home, it can still get dusty and dirty. And so I'm going through this TV console. We keep our board games in here. This side is mainly like not adult games, but not games for my kids, you know. So I'm going through here. I'm deciding what do we not need anymore. What are things that I know my husband loves, things that I love, games that we like to play with other people, but maybe we don't get to play with each other because they're, more than 2 people games. And kind of going through that, I'm going to wipe every box and every game down, and then I am going to eliminate anything that I know that we haven't used and we won't miss if I get rid of it. If you have any 2-player board game recommendations, let me know in the comments down below. My husband loves board games more so than I do, but I'm always looking for games that we can play together, like after the kids go to bed. Sometimes I'm just too exhausted to even form any sort of functioning thought, but when we do have those nights where we sit down and play board games, it's always so much fun, but I feel like we have a hard time finding games that are just 2-player. So let me know in the comments below if you have any tried and true 2-player board games. I end up moving these books into my playroom area for my kiddos. Our house is shaped kind of in like an L at like a 90-degree angle, and so we have like our kitchen and the playroom on the long part of the L, and then this front room is on the short part of the L, kind of, because you can't, this is kind of like a little more isolated. But I end up moving these into the playroom because that's the room with our fireplace, and I put them on the mantle, and I love how it looks. I put some like battery operated taper candles and candlesticks holders, and I have a frame up there, and I'm going to put a patriotic print from Etsy in there, and it just looks so cute. I am discovering more and more now that I want to have like that Nancy Meyers lived in home feel. Not necessarily like cluttered, like everything has kind of like a purpose and a story. But it just feels like so homey. I felt like for a while I was trying to lean too much into like neutrals and almost more like modern decor, and that just isn't me. So I've discovered like kind of like a mix of like Nancy Meyers and like a coastally kind of vibe is what I really enjoy, and so I'm trying to lean into that and find pieces that fit into those styles. With that said, it's like a complete work in progress, and I feel like the only room in my house that's complete is the baby's nursery, where my son Jax is sleeping. So that's kind of my goal. I want to make sure my kiddos' rooms are completed, and that whenever I'm buying something, it kind of really fits into that like coastal or Nancy Meyers theme. So work in progress. Don't feel discouraged if you're in your home and it doesn't feel necessarily like 100% finished or finalized. I've been in my home for, oh my gosh, probably at least 6 years, and I don't feel like it's finished at all. So it's a work in progress. So be gentle with yourself. And I typically find that you can't always find, like if you try to furnish your house in one go, you're not going to find things that you love, and then you'll end up getting rid of it and buying something new. And so it's okay to take your time and to be patient with yourself. So in this top shelf, I have puzzles and kids' board games. So think like Candyland, Chutes and Ladders. Those boxes were totally destroyed. So I just put them in. I had leftover like zippered bags that I have used to organize kids stuff. So I just brought those out, put the board game pieces in there, cut out the directions, and put them on top of the actual like board game that you unfold and play on top of. And it worked out really good. I would have kept the boxes, but they have been like so destroyed by my kids, and these were games I used in my classroom that the boxes are just destroyed. So this is definitely the better solution, and now I won't have trouble opening this sliding barn door. It was getting stuck on broken parts of the boxes, so this is a nice upgrade. Then I did go through I have like some decor pieces, and then I also have scrapbooks and picture books. I didn't get rid of any pictures, but I did get rid of some scrapbooks that were almost empty, and I took any pictures out and saved those. So you saw me, I went ahead and wiped down our TV trays. We don't eat off the TV trays very often. I'd say like maybe once every 2 weeks, and that's only if my husband and I grab takeout and we're eating it after the kids are asleep and watching a movie or something. But went ahead and wiped those down. I did find some sticky spots, so I was glad I did that. I wiped down our floor lamp. You did not see that part. And then I went ahead and I swept the floors, and now I'm moving on to the windows. Sometimes when I'm cleaning, I'll like clean all of the windows on the main level, and then I'll sweep all the floors or vacuum all the floors on the main level. But this time I'm going room by room. My goal was to be able to get the entire first floor done, and that just did not happen this week. It was pretty ambitious because the kitchen is just a beast in and of itself, and so I was able to do basically everything. This front room, bathrooms, playroom. I even went through the kids' shoes. I did that just on my own time and not while filming it, because sometimes you just have to get things done when you find the time. And so I just had like a pocket of time that I needed to pound that out, so I was able to get that done. And I don't really have a preference on which one I like better. I'm pretty sporadic in my thinking, and so if I'm supposed to move from one room to another doing the same task, I can sometimes get distracted. But staying in the same room, you kind of see everything that needs to get done, and you can just kind of check things off your list. So after I do the windows, I wipe down. I have some picture frames hanging. I dust the TV, make sure that's good. The only thing I didn't do was move the couch or shampoo the couch cushions or anything, but we've done that fairly recently, so I didn't really feel the need to do that right now. We did go ahead and shampoo the carpets, like all of the carpets in our house upstairs, and then our toy room, our playroom downstairs is the only thing that has carpet. So we took care of that, my husband did. So I didn't have that filmed, but that was taken care of and such a big relief. Now I'm coming through and I'm mopping, and for those of you who have watched my videos before, you know I always view this as like the cherry on top. So it felt so good to get the floors totally cleaned and mopped, and to get this taken care of, because this just feels like sometimes an extra step that I don't have the time or the patience for. So I'm glad I got this taken care of. This is absolutely one of my favorite cleaning tools ever. It is like not a fabric shaver, but it totally gets every single piece of like dust and hair out of your carpet. So even if you vacuum, this will get like dog hair, and my dog is a golden doodle and she doesn't shed, but we still have dog hair, and my hair sheds. This just gets everything out. So what I like to do is I like to use this tool first and get all the like hair and dust out, and then I go over the top with the vacuum and get anything that was left over. It totally changes the way my stairs look and how the carpet feels on your feet. It was worth every penny, super cheap off Amazon. It's the following day and I am tackling the bathroom downstairs. You'll see I have my little shadow here with me. He is typically not far away unless my husband's around, and then he can forget all about me because he loves his daddy. But whenever it's a work day and he's with me, he typically loves to participate and help, which I love. Dude was not going to help me clean the toilet. So he got to watch, and he's obsessed with flushing the toilet. So he was perfectly content watching and flushing the toilet and pretending to wipe the edge of the toilet where he thought I sprayed it. I feel like I say this every time I clean my bathrooms, but it feels so nice to get the bathrooms cleaned and reset. I hate cleaning my showers, so I avoid cleaning the bathrooms as much as I possibly can because I don't want to even look at the shower and think about cleaning it. That's how much I just despise cleaning the showers. But I don't have a problem with this half bath since there is no shower, so this one gets a little more TLC and some love. But it always just feels nice to get these areas cleaned and to know that everything's nice and fresh. It's now later in the day during my kiddo's nap time, and I am tackling the playroom. This room is absolutely trash, but I have to say it's partially my fault. We had some toys lined up in our front room, and my goal was to get every toy and everything that the kids use into the playroom and find a way for it to fit. And so I just kept tossing or putting the kids' stuff in here while my kids were also playing and making a mess, so it just looks extra messy. But I go ahead and get the library books put back in the library bin. This really helps so you're not searching all over your house for your library books if you take your kids to your public library. And then I'm just collecting things and putting them back where they belong, folding blankets. You'll see here in a second, I'm going to go through the blankets and make sure there isn't anything that I can donate. I do take out this baby blanket that was my husband's and take it to the basement and put it in one of his many keepsake boxes that he has just to get it out of here. We don't need extra stuff floating around in this playroom. It's already filled to the brim as it is. And then I'm going to go ahead and those foam like blocks that you see there that the kids can climb on, I do spray and wipe down thoroughly. I'm currently right now in the process of washing the ball pit covers. I did just wash the nugget couch, and that was in a recent video, so I'm not going to wash that right now. But I am washing the ball pit because we're going to put the ball pit away for a little bit. The kids have lost some of their interest in it, and so we are putting that away, and then hopefully when we bring it back out, they'll be excited to see it again. I don't do too much of a toy rotation, but for big things like this, I find that it's helpful if you put some of it away and then you bring it back out to use it again. So I had some kiddos wake up a little bit early from their nap on this day, which it just is par for the course. I was really glad I decided to sit for a bit before I started cleaning the playroom. I find it that if you don't take time for yourself, at least from my perspective, during like your kid's nap or when your kids are doing something and you can have a break, that I don't come back refreshed. So I always make sure I take time for myself, whether that's sitting down and reading a book or watching a YouTube video. Those are like my two go-tos that I love. Or going on a walk. My husband works from home, so I'm able to like give him the monitor when the kids are settled and go on a walk, and it's just so nice and refreshing. But I always make sure I do that if I am going to do something during their nap time. I like to say, if you can do it when your kids are awake, do it when they're awake. It's a motto I've been trying to stick to and follow, but sometimes you just have to get things done while they're asleep, and it is like a million times quicker to do it while they're asleep, but don't just do things while they're asleep. It's good for them to see you doing things while they're awake and for them to be an active participant with you. But I do have a little friend who is awake running around in the kitchen, so I think you might see him, but I'm just getting everything put away, and then you don't see it, but I do go ahead and I am going to go wipe everything down and make sure we are starting this summer on a fresh start. So if you have still here and have made it to this part of the video, thank you so much. I appreciate it more than you know. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you have not already, go ahead and subscribe. I am working towards a goal of 1,000 subscribers, and I'd love for you to jump on board and help me meet that goal. I hope you all have a wonderful week and had an amazing Memorial Day weekend, and I will see you next week with a new video. Bye.